Hello everyone, today is September 27th and this is your version of Coffee Chats for the week. I've got Paula Rickett from marketing here with me, and we are doing this sans audience today because we've had quite a little bit of a COVID outbreak here. So we'll be talking about that at length here this morning, and we want you folks to all stay safe and know that this is a temporary issue as we see it, and we just want to tamp the spread down a little bit, and hopefully by the end of the week we can start to plan on getting back to our normal schedules. I wanted to start out by asking Paula a question. Paula, take a look at that pen. Is that a right-handed pen or a left-handed pen?
Yes.
Okay. Oh, which one? Right or left?
Oh.
That's the question.
I'm gonna say right,
Why do you say right?
because most people are right-handed, so it only makes sense that they would just make them for right-handed people.
She is right. Her logic is completely wrong. But if I may, the way you tell if a pen or pencil is right-handed or left-handed, if I take the pen and hold it in my left hand, the writing is upside down. This is a Bic round stick pen. If I put it in my right hand and I look, the letters are right side up and you can read it. So,
Question,
yes,
did you figure this out yourself or did you read it somewhere?
I have never had an original thought. I'm not that smart to figure that out. So yes, I did read it somewhere.
Okay.
Isn't that cool?
That's
You like
kinda
that?
cool. Yeah,
Yep.
I like that.
Yep.
Who knew?
Oh, I also wanted to mention Ashley Boyum from housekeeping is our photographer today. Roger, we miss you, but Ashley will do quite nicely in your stead, I'm sure.
Thank you, Ashley.
Yes, this is take one, so if it continues through, you know that Ashley did a wonderful job. I hope we are recording. If not, we're making fools of ourselves. Ashley, when are you gonna get married?
Next year.
Next year. And what's your fiance do?
He washes windows.
For who?
I forget.
Well, way to keep track of him. You know, that's gonna serve you well going forward in your marriage. But okay, so you all got this letter yesterday, and I want to give you folks a little background on the letters. Did it remind you of a year or so ago?
Yeah, or
longer,
two. Yeah.
or two?
Mm-hmm.
And when we write these letters, I'm proud of them. I think they're very good. I get to put my name on the bottom of them, but the amount of actual writing that I do on these letters is not a lot. Paula actually finishes the letter and puts it into the form that you folks see it. As a group,
Mm-hmm.
we sit down and we decide what's going to go into it, where we're at from, how would you say we do that?
Well, I would say as a group, we want to make sure that every department has their input about what needs to be said so that we can make sure that we still keep providing the services that we can, just in a modified way so that it's safe for staff members and for the residents. So that's kind of the goal of the whole thing.
Yep.
We get all the departments together.
And what happened this time is we are not under a huge crush to do what the CDC tells us to do or whatever. I mean, the quarantines and the social distancing and the masking has all been, for the most part, eliminated, but yet there's still a virus out there. And so our methods this time around were a little different in that, hey, we don't want to infringe.
No, it's just kind of to make people aware, and it's kind of done as a courtesy, just so that you kind of have an idea. even if it was the good old fashioned flu, we would do the same thing. So if we knew that there were a bunch of people with the flu, if you think you might be compromised, or if you think that you might run the risk of having the flu, it's a good idea to test. It's a good idea to let other people know, just as a courtesy. We do ask, I think we got in the letter here, that we really appreciate your transparency in calling us and letting us know. We're not going to let your friends know or anything like that, but it is kind of important for us to know from a housekeeping perspective, maintenance perspective, and also just so that we can minimize the risk to the people who live here and the people who work here by modifying anything that we might offer, anything that is a group. So I think that's kind of the goal of all of it.
Exactly, and the key words there, if you think.
Yeah.
It's up to you. We're, 2 years ago, we were somewhat, were we dictators?
I think we felt responsible. We felt a little bit more responsible for kind of disseminating information, because it was coming at us so fast and it was changing so quickly.
And there were protocols that the government agencies and different health departments and things wanted put in place, so we accommodated them and put that in place. Well, this is a Ridgepoint deal right now,
Yeah.
and we're handling it internally in our way. Yep, we're using some guidelines and things from the CDC, but it's a very, very loose, would you call it loose, or what would you say?
I would say that it's basically just information so that you're aware. If you were put into any setting that might be a little bit more high risk, if you go into a hospital, you know that there's a bit of a more potential for things. We're just kind of getting the information out there that we've had some cases of it, and we think it's best that if you have any symptoms, or even if you just want to test just to find out, you might have found yourself in some situations that might have been a little more high risk, you can take a test just so that you're aware, even if you're asymptomatic. That way you can kind of make your own decision about where you want to go, who you might want to hang around, so that we can just minimize the spread, I would say.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And the reason that the number right now is 23. We've got 3 staff members that tested positive, and we've got 20 residents that tested positive. Now, is there a correlation between last week, we started with Don Irwin on Monday, birthday night on Tuesday, happy 100th birthday again to Del Ebert, but we had a nice party for Del Ebert.
That's great.
Got a bunch of people sick, but what the heck. No, that's not
We
true.
don't know that.
We don't know that, and Del is way too beautiful a person for anyone to have gotten sick at her party. And then we had a couple of floor parties and things, so we lived our life last week. We were what Ridgepoint is. We were active, we were social, we were all that stuff. And sometimes if a sticky little virus gets mixed in amongst all our stuff, this is what's going to happen. And we want to go back to saying you're the master of your own domain, and you need to take care of yourselves. We don't take care of you. I mean, we are taking care of our staff, and we are taking care of the community in general, but am I saying the right thing there?
Yeah, and as we've always said, and what we kind of stand for, we're independent living. We don't manage your medical. We're here for the
Yeah.
socialization piece of it. Your health care is up to you and your doctor. So it's not our job to monitor any of that, of course, it's up to you.
Yep. And there was one instance I know where there was a resident was sick, and her neighbors, his neighbors, his or her neighbors, the neighbors, came to help this person, and they ended up getting sick because the person was positive in the first place.
Oh.
So buyer beware. And you know, if you're going to help someone, wear masks, do all that type of thing, but just be aware. Now, the symptoms that people have had, there is one person, I believe, that is ill. I would say ill. The others are positive and not real severe symptoms, but, and in terms of the staff, there's one that is a little down, but for the most part, it is just minor symptoms. It's not a matter of life and death, and that allows us to be a little more liberal on what we're allowing.
So as of right now, nobody's been sick to the point where they've had to go to a doctor. Nobody's been sick to the point where they've been admitted to a hospital, none of that. It's been, I feel kind of punk, I take a test, I'm positive, oh, okay.
Yeah, I can't for sure say that they haven't been to a doctor,
Oh, okay,
because if we did that and someone had been to a
Yeah,
doctor,
yeah.
then we're liars.
understood.
But at the same time, I don't believe anyone's been hospitalized.
Okay,
And
well, those things are good to know.
those are good to know. Okay, so just to, there was a text session today, and by the time you see this, you'll know that if you had gone there, that it's canceled. 991 has been a godsend. I mean, all the changes that we're doing and cancellations are going up on 991. Tomorrow night, Wednesday night, bingo, no bingo. As of now, the Twins game is on for Thursday,
Thursday, okay.
but I don't know how we can do that. There's the question with the Twins game is, and boy, this is not the way to make decisions. We invested a lot of money in those tickets. And I think for the safety of the residents, if we cancel it, I have no problem eating that money for those tickets. But if the people that want to go to the game still want to go, I know that in talking with Steve Chaplin, our van driver, who, by the way, if you don't already know this, is probably the best van driver on the planet, as well as one of the best human beings on the planet. He says he's okay driving, and if people want to go, he'll take them.
Okay,
So, but at the same time, we may say, no, Steve, we appreciate that, or folks, we're just not going to the Twins game. What are your thoughts on that? What do you think?
let's play it by ear.
Play it by ear. Okay.
So, hopefully by next week, we're back to having all of our amenities up and running again as usual. For this week, I think we've just kind of suspended a whole bunch of things just as a safety precaution.
Yep.
One of the things that I think has changed, but of course we're still offering it, are lunches and dinners. And that was in the letter that was sent out, but if you're wanting lunch, if you're wanting dinner, they'll be delivered. So please try to get a hold of the kitchen, 6388 by 11 o'clock, whether you want lunch or dinner. And again, that's gonna be for the rest of the week. I don't think, we have closed the Rose Room, haven't we?
Yes, we have.
For the remainder of the week.
Yep.
So I think those would be probably the biggest things to think about as far as immediate things that are gonna affect quite a few people.
And speaking of that though, you know, we have these deadlines calling at 11 o'clock for, on a week like this.
Yeah.
If it's after 11 o'clock, call the front desk. We don't want to deny anyone food. We don't want to, well, we want to sell it. From a business perspective, you never want to send business away, but more importantly, as customers, as part of our family, if you're hungry, we want to get you some food.
Absolutely.
And so,
We'll make sure you get fed.
we'll work with Renee and Duncan, and we'll make sure that they check their message a little more closely after the deadline and stuff, but ideally, you get it done before the deadline.
Right.
I don't want to sit here and say this, and then everybody calls at 5 to 12 and say, hey, I'd like lunch. You know, at some point, we have to say, okay, there's a cutoff. So, but if you forget or whatever, if you haven't got your meal delivered by noon, maybe call and find out if they've been delivered, or
Call the front desk. We'll get it figured out.
we can.
It's a strange week. We'll get it figured out.
It's a strange week.
Right?
We'll get it figured out.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think that's probably, I don't know, do you have a list of things that you wanted to let people know that maybe just aren't what they normally are?
I think the letter
Cover
is
everything?
pretty self-explanatory.
Good. Good.
The other thing I wanted to say is that, I think we're done on COVID, aren't we? Do you have anything else on COVID or anything like that?
I really don't. Frozen yogurt is suspended. Housekeeping will, it's gonna continue as scheduled. Obviously, if you have COVID, we're not gonna go in. But we are requesting that the residents leave their apartments just for the week while we have housekeeping in the unit. And I know sometimes we've had some exceptions where people have been in their, in the bedroom and keep the door closed. We really ask that that not take place this week. Just vacate the unit just so we can, again, just so we can make sure that nobody else kind of gets this. Let's see, in-person exercises canceled, coffee chats obviously virtual. Continental breakfast, we haven't made any changes there. Again, you know, this is up to you. Our purpose in remaining open for continental breakfast is that really is up to you. There's no staff involved in serving or anything. You just serve yourself. So we figure if that's something that you want to do with, you know, the people that you feel comfortable with doing that with, go right ahead. And let's see, that's probably about it.
Yep. It skipped my mind what you were, I thought of something as Paula was talking, but then I forgot about it. But anyway, I think that I'm so proud. Oh, I know what it was. Housekeeping. We're recording this, I think it's about 9:30 on Tuesday morning. And Linda Cook, Linda, housekeeping maintenance Linda, she's on her phone calling people, canceling schedules because one of our housekeepers came down with COVID. Okay, so we are doing our best to keep that level of service, and we know that housekeeping is one that means a lot to a lot of people.
It does.
But at the same time, if we haven't got enough people, we're canceling schedules today. And if another housekeeper should go down, we may just say, okay, we're gonna throw in the towel, because we've got two of them that were out before for other reasons. But all I can tell you is we're doing our best with housekeeping, and just we appreciate any understanding you folks might give us when and if we have to cancel your schedule
Yeah.
for the week.
Thanks for your patience and for your understanding.
All right. Last week's coffee chats was one of my favorites of all time. We talked about the plates and the styrofoam at lunch and all that stuff. And I was hoping before all this came up that we'd have continued that discussion on that. But we delegated Paula to do some research on some plates. Did we ever buy any plates from you,
I
Linda?
did. So my solution right out of the gate was to run to Costco, get some Chinette plates. So we've got a stack of plates in there. And Renee,
Paula's solution always is to go shopping, so just so you know.
so I think we're gonna go the paper plate route for now, the Chinettes. Renee liked the idea. They are gonna hit the garbage can a lot easier. It's a lot less hot water. It's a lot less, all the different things that would be required. We also thought about getting like melamine plates. I didn't think there was anything that was super affordable right now. I don't know. Maybe we can
Okay.
Look at the cost of that. Especially because a lot of them end up just either, they disappear. We're not quite sure what happens with them, but they disappear. End up in the trash can, maybe end up in people's apartments. That's gonna happen. So I think for right now, that's the solution that Renee and I kind of came up with. I also had gone and found some ceramic plates or, you know, just
Yep.
stoneware plates. And that could be an option as well. I think we're just still kind of exploring all of those.
Does a Chinette have a feeling of non-cheap?
Yeah.
Or what is your feeling when
They
you,
feel a little bit more corrugated.
okay,
And if it's gonna be on a tray anyway,
yep,
what's, you know, why not?
excellent. Now, that's what our logic is for where we're at
Today.
today. Exactly. That doesn't mean it's
It's a
gonna
work
be
in
that way.
progress.
And we're listening to you folks. We wanna make you happy. We wanna achieve a happy medium here. So you folk will try this out,
Mhm.
and guess what? If it doesn't work, it doesn't work.
Yep.
We've been upsetting people with styrofoam for close to a year now, so we can change that.
Yep.
I'm sorry, I don't have any birthdays. And that may have been by design because I did not want to sit here and sing happy birthday to anyone.
Chef, we were looking
with-
forward to that, right, Ashley?
Well, Paula, you're a singer,
No, I'm
perhaps you
good.
could sing happy
No, really,
birthday.
I just, no.
Anyway, thank you for listening. Thank you for your understanding. I mentioned what we did last week here at Ridgepoint, and I didn't get goosebumps, but I certainly felt really, really happy about how we're back in business. We're looking at this right now as a hiccup, and only a hiccup, and we will get back on track hopefully next week, if not next week, certainly the week after. Do you agree with that, Paula? Do you hope?
I do, yeah, I do. I think, yeah, I don't see it as an ongoing thing for sure.
All right. Ashley, thank you for recording. Everybody, have a good week.
That's a wrap.